maybe that glue would go into the Roam, or excuse me, the EXP, but then they switched it up, which makes it a little bit easier to manage the Paquito as the Hilda. So instead of looking at the center, they look to the side and the presence of the Paquito.
So interesting because, you know, how many times have we seen Ogwin now pick up this glue pick? Whether it was originally planned or they just swerved it out, that's fine. Ogwin, for the most part, he's felt a lot of deaths on it, right, throughout the playoffs so far, and I feel like at the same time, this lineup, this ability to go ahead and bring in the Hilda, to go ahead and allow him and to alleviate some of the pressure on him, will help Team Falcons approach the fights better, because before, it was mostly Ogwin playing up that front side. Flap.
Oh, whoa. Here comes Kyle, calls in Barbiel. Stampedes through the two members of Liquid. JP, checking range. Ogwin spacing him out. They go for the turtle.
Okay,
be good.
They go for the turtle. Santi's around the corner. Doesn't have the traction pulse yet. Flap's really low. So Falcons might have to give this up. There's no Phantom Steed either.
Hodges and RWA pulls it out. And in comes JP. Turtle gets reset. Ogwin put down a third of his health. No one to mount this yet. So Flap just forced the flicker back. A lot of ult spent by Falcons this early on.
Looks like it's going to be a win for Team Liquid Philippines and Turtle #1. They don't need to keep the aggression up. They go back into their rotations. I love what I'm seeing from these two so far. It really feels like I'm watching a more chess-like version of MLBB, maximizing every ability, every battle spell, and not giving away a meaningless kill.
Shades of the early exchange from Falcons versus Onyx last night. There was a team fight wherein Haji also pulled out the item a little early, which led to the opponent getting the objective. Falcons gotta fix that.
Yeah, he also had some clutch ones, you know, and so Golden Hour going to be used here. Not sure if there's going to be much. It's mostly on Ogwin. He's going to go ahead and survive that again. This glue tanky enough to deal with some of this early pressure damage.
Yeah, Kimmy plus the Marcel together is like a Granger and a Marcel. You freeze up all of those projectiles you've charged up outside of the Golden Hour, then once it comes out, a big burst of damage. So, as awkward as it is for Ogwin, he needs to prioritize the Radiant Armor here. He needs that extra magic defense to survive the pokes coming in from that Kimmy. Despite them, yes, being a Fredrin and a Paquito, you have to look at the magic defense to keep yourself alive.
Yep, over on the gold lane too, you know, we've talked about the whole golden royale that we had here throughout MPL Philippines Season 17. Super Marco solved that. He, you know, got the upper hand against Severo, who was so impressive throughout the season. And then you have this point where Super Marco on the Claude, the most winningest gold laner, up against a carry who needs more time to go and build up. But so far, we've seen Claude's just play so well in so many different compositions. Super Marco specifically seems to be handling the lane fine against the carry.
It's good also that despite us ending up with a Fred and Leomord matchup, it's not the, okay, everyone just farm up, manage your lanes, and just go ahead and see each other in the turtle. They're still trying to find small wins and skirmishes in the river. More modern style, old school, objective-based MLBB. So yes, we might not see a lot of kills, but we will see a lot of action because of those little trades.
Yeah, I think that's why, again, you know, that K2V for both teams, micro is important, but even the macro, the objectives, we've seen sort of an evolution of the, you know, turtle and lord dances.
Neither have to be forgotten. You have to be good on both.
Yeah.
So if Falcons keep slipping up these micro decisions, they're not even going to get to these minute-long lord dances.
Yeah, Sanford brought Flap low, Flap got the recall, and now he's coming back.
Oh, Cloud's in. And there's a goal now to stop the turtle take. Down to an eighth of itself. Ogwin spacing out Carl. Sanji wailing away. RWF good. He still secures. And in comes Kyle with a Phantom Steed. Now JP very low. Gets hit with that momentum to the face. And in comes first blood drawn by Sanji. Kyle falls, so does Ogwin. This is looking bad. Let's go into the back line. Super Marco not finding anyone. 3 plus the turtle going over to Liquid.
Just when you thought Team Falcons would pull off that turtle take, they end up losing 3.
Yeah, both retributions coming out early, actually. Carl TZ and Kyle just both had, if I'm not mistaken, maybe less than 100 health on that turtle, which was surprising enough. Sanji being able to get the last hit. So with Team Liquid Philippines getting the last hit on the turtle, they were encouraged to fight. They got that. Now they got a tower up top. They might be able to get a good push down bottom, which means Super Marco's room to farm is starting to run out. Falcons needs to start patching holes here, or Team Liquid Philippines will be able to start stampeding, considering that this is a Fredrin that is packing the support emblem set. You get more cooldown reduction, and add to that, it's brute force breastplate. Even more cooldown reduction, less time getting crowd control. This Fredrin can snowball.
Oh, they baited out a response out of Marco.
Like that.
Goes in BMI through. 4 members of Liquid down bottom. I was about to say, why would they send Marco away preemptively.
Perbedaan
Windows
gol.
might break it out.
Oh.
Blazing the wet in the face as they take down
Kelas.
Sanji. But Stanford knocks out
Kelas banget.
Marco, and the fight continues as Ogwin falls. Flap and Haji wonder where did Ogwin and Marco go.
Not worth it there on the trade. Super Marco uses Purify, but didn't expect
Oh,
it.
mati dong.
Intercepting the
Haji.
back line as Haji gets taken down. Daddy JP finds him.
Mati
And now they
juga
take
dong.
down Flap. Flap fighting a
Mati,
losing
mati.
fight here as the turret falls. So does
Kelas
he.
becok
They just don't
digoreng-goreng
stop.
gini
Team
sama
Liquid
TLPX.
finds a moment of weakness and they keep pressing.
Gambaran
They
final
are
MSC
stampeding.
pasti
We're talking about
salah satu
Marcel
dari
and the
mereka
Fredrin, a
masuk
very
ke
impressive duo. They still
final.
going.
Oh my lord,
Mamam.
Marco! Appraiser's wrath to the
Super
face
Marco,
underneath tier
Super
2.
Marco.
That is an angry goat if I've seen
Ribet
one.
dia Teddy.
What just happened to Marco?
Teddy seskap
And
dia.
they still keep going as Haji gets taken down. Hogan does find them out.
Wah,
In comes Flap.
direnggo-renggo
This is a
gini.
losing fight. Kyle calls in, but Bielba gets caught in the golden hour. Oh, how is this going to elapse? As in comes Teddy from the side lanes, and they take down Flap.
Aman.
TLPH, 7.5 minutes in,
kelar ya.
are all gas, no brakes. Not what I mean.
This is the Liquid Stampede we have seen all season long. And they're going to go for Kyle.
Will not survive. Sanford's packing dynamite in his hands.
Way too quickly. After that turtle loss, Liquid did everything perfectly with how they managed the map, with Falcon sending Marco to bot. Teddy was free to push, and you saw the chain of kills. This is just excellence in execution by Liquid. Good old Stampede.
Man, again, looking at this, an 8,000 gold lead around the 8-minute mark is something you don't often see.
Liquid are proliferating gold like they want to buy RAM.
Yeah. Hey, man,
Can I get some of that?
can we all get some of that? Right now, Team Falcons has had enough of it. They're looking for more.
Butterbeer called in by Kyle. There was just a feint as Liquid looks for more elsewhere on the map.
Okay.
They're really tough. Falcons, they have to
Makin
find
kaya
this
nih.
weird balance of getting their utility items, but getting their good items to start chipping away at
Marcelnya
Team Liquid
nyebelin
Philippines. Can't easy use Red
Red
Tree.
Tree.
There's the pulse, and Flap taking a face full of hits from Sanji. JP looking to catch him in the platinum snap, and they let go.
Yep, they're going to let go of that one, but again, they're going to go ahead and get a
Pot.
turret. Whoa, Sanford!
Mamam tuh, Cok.
Kyle!
Ngeri banget.
Running
Aduh,
away
salah
from
skill
Terry
ya.
Bogard.
Got the combo.
Gets it, man. Sanford
kelar.
finds another. And they continue to pressure. Carl Easy, Fraser's Wrath. 3v4.
Carl Z kalau udah
Falcons have
pakai
one issue here.
Fredrin kuat banget, Cok.
Owen
Sumpah.
caught out once more.
The jabs and the combos are so clean from Sanford on this Paquito.
It's poetry in motion. It is the greatest orchestra you've never heard, yet you
Ininya
see,
dia.
you feel it in your soul.
Banyak banget sih
Yes, I
PR.
gotta glaze Liquid right now, because what the hell are we seeing? This is some beautiful execution from Team Liquid. Macro,
Banyak banget
micro, everything is going perfectly for the cavalry.
You have to look across the board in these lanes here, just how
9.000
massively
loh.
ahead
Beda gol
every
10.000.
single department.
Udah sih,
At this point,
digoreng-goreng
Team
ini, Cok.
Liquid has game one
Game
under
pertama,
wraps. You know, this is
alasan
so
alter ego
difficult
kalau
for
game
Team
pertama
Falcons to keep up
pemanasan.
with because you're going through
Enjoy aja.
this kind of deficit, this kind of difference in economy that even if you're trying to go ahead and send your frontline guys, they're just punching bags at this point. They're sure kills for TL.
Everything that follows from here is just procedure. Unless something goes
Ribet
very
ya.
drastically wrong for Liquid, Falcons are not going to come back from this.
Yeah.
Haji only has a glowing wand, still on the way to his second item. Even a divine glaive would not help him out right now. A massive lead between the two gold laners, with Teddy sitting at over 2,000 against the Claude. Still doesn't have the Trinity, but even with the Trinity up, you're still going to be waiting for the next item after that. What Liquid has done here is an evolution of what we've seen of the
Coba
double
kita, guys.
marksman, double carry style of strategy, because they have an EXP laner that is much more high damage dealing and fast at rotating. It speeds up.
Okay, Haji pops that real world manipulation
Sabar,
in
brother.
hopes to defend.
Just
Sanford
charge
inside,
dulu.
compromising Flap as they switch
Okay.
targets over to the inhibitors.
Lanjut.
Falcons can keep their
Saja.
inhibitors. Liquid is taking the disciplined route.
Yep, they'll keep them up. Base turrets
12.000
though, can take some damage
loh.
here.
Menit
TL with this
berapa?
kind of
Menit
lead looks to go
10.
ahead and potentially take down
Dibantai
the base
banget, Cok.
turrets off of this too. They know the RWM is used. We'll see if Haji gets it back. There's the mid turret, gonna be worked on.
Kelar, kelar.
Kyle taking hits from
Fix.
Sanji. Down goes that mid lane
Win.
inhibitor, and Ogwin getting annihilated. Super Marco blazing duet. backwards as the golden
Padahal itu tank
hour
loh.
is brought out by JP. Teddy
Ribet
takes
ya.
down the bottom lane, top lane left. The only bastion for Falcons. Their base is about to get stormed.
Got the wave in mid. I don't know if I can recall
cepat
seeing
sih.
this kind of
14.000
lead in the MPL Philippines Season 17 yet. 14,000 gold under the 12-minute mark is absolutely insane for Team Liquid on this Stampede in Game 1. Team Falcons hold on to one base turret.
Ngeri
What do
banget.
they do here? Is this one of those situations where you have to start just
15
thinking,
sudah
we got to go
pasti sih.
again?
Buat
Yeah,
kita
they have
brother.
to turtle it out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're already thinking, oh, go next.
Yeah.
See what we can do so that we don't end up with that kind of lineup again from Team Liquid PH. And, well, if you want to look back at history with gold gaps like these, Falcons is the only team in MPL PH history to make a comeback down 16,000 gold. Was that 2 seasons ago or last
Against
season?
Aurora.
Yeah, against Aurora. Do they have another DNA, but then this Liquid
Okay.
team is just different, man. This
Marcel,
lineup,
eh?
it's way too difficult to make a comeback through. Again, it's a double carry with a somewhat carrying the EXP.
RWM trying to put down JP. Open gets the mount, they pick
Kelar,
off
kelar,
Daddy
kelar.
JP.
Udah kelar.
Flap gets taken down by Teddy, and Super Marco barely survives. One for
Win-nya
one.
They just
dikejar
want to chase
tuh.
Ogun down. At least that move right there buys Team Falcons some time in the game.
Oh, there's the pause
Inabot
throw
ya.
now to cancel the
Gitu-gitu.
conceal. Ogun with a split.
Dah,
Wasting
tinggal
time
lor.
here.
Dah. Kelar.
Throws out the gluing.
Clear.
Krabby Patty sits, and he's already wasted more than a minute of Liquid's time. I think this is mission
way.
accomplished for Ogun.
Mati dong.
One more. Ogun does the impossible. A 1-for-1 trade. Where the hell did that come
Mati
from?
loh.
That's only the 3rd kill. They're probably not
Nggak
going to
nyangka
get a
tuh.
lot of it.
Nggak
But
nyangka tuh
holy
dia.
crap, Ogwin,
Bakal
that
mati.
was pretty cool.
Dinaikin.
That was the most Patrick Star thing I've seen so far.
Tapi sama aja brother.
Another pulse throw
Masih
now.
mereka
Flap
megang gold ya
just
tuh 10.000.
Scrambling to get
Gimana
into
cara
a
masuk?
bit of brush there. I'm still not
Sanfordnya
over how
udah
he did that.
sakit.
Hey,
There are Falcons to my right and then
Kelar sih,
behind
udah.
us laughing.
Lanjut game
Yes.
2 sih.
They're probably thinking we're still probably going to lose this game, but at least we got that.
at least we got to see that. Hey, maybe this is brings it to a point. Can Team
Game ada
Falcons go for
carry.
just the Hail Mary play and try to take out the Lord in a retry steal?
Hey, they shaved off 3K.
They did. Small baby step,
Gotta mean something.
small Patrick step in the right direction, man.
Kelar.
Imagine, what if that is the turning point of a comeback? I mean, probably not, but
Saya mamanya.
cool. Falcons
Aman
can't
sih.
even get any opening of the map because Liquid are still taking care of their map. They realized that Falcons would still want to get the tower up top, so instead of sending a 5-man around the Lord pit, you don't need it. They keep
Bagus,
Sanford there, and Sanford was more than
Kelar.
enough to stop Falcons from trying to even push up top.
Yeah, I like this. Of course, the build that Sanford's going, because we've seen a couple different versions of the Paquito right now. So he's just got the wings, the Oracle for some defense, but he's able to go ahead and pump out enough damage too, just because of the damage items he got.
In hindsight, most Paquitos just build the same way at the end.
Yeah.
It's just what you prioritize first. And here, Sanford said, you know, I'm going for knockouts. He started to build damage first now.
Gimana
Liquid looking
cara
to siege that tier 3 up top. Count easy very low. Flap easy looking for it. And it
Udah
goes
clear
Barbiel.
sih, clear,
Blazing
clear.
duet by Marco. Compromising one and goes easy full.
Udah gas.
Golden Hour able to save him. RWM finds
Marcel itu.
no one as Kyle falls before anything else could happen for Falcons.
Satu
Okay,
dah
so
yang
Falcons
mati.
keep going onto
Mana, Cok?
Fredrin. Wait, hold that thought, sorry.
Wait.
Conceal use, JP going for the back.
Going for it.
Sleepy.
There's a tracking shot. Lord still standing. Super Marco and Flap use everything to try and take care of this wave. Lord wailing away. Sanji blasted.
Oh, udah nih, clear.
Liquid
Gigi.
Lord.
Ya
Take
hits.
game 1.
Game pertama ya.
Dominant. Almost a bit of a
Lanjut
stumble
game
there,
2.
but